Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Healing in Gemini. We missed you.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so fun fact, we were talking for about 7 minutes and got completely disconnected. So this is take two.
Wah, wah.
So today we will be discussing red flags that we thought were green flags.
Yes, and I completely misunderstood the assignment, so I have red flags that I just completely ignored in the beginning. There was probably no sign of a green flag at all either. Just completely ignored all flags.
Shell just surrendered. She was
Yes.
just like, whatever, it's okay.
We'll see where this goes.
Okay, so did you want me to start again?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
let's go for it.
So, the first one, which everyone is very familiar with, is love bombing. Um, and I can totally relate to this. When I got with my ex, it was more of words, and I think it's solely because we were very young. When we got together, we were 18, so it was a lot of like I love yous. You're the only one for me. I need you. I can't picture my life without you. Which, I mean, when you're 18, like, who doesn't want to hear that? It's like, I finally found the love of my life and we're going to be together forever. But looking back at it, it's kind of like, oh, that's how it all began. Like the entrapment, you know?
Yeah,
And then,
totally just so they can get you and then take that mask off.
oh, 1,000%. Because then towards the end, where there was like actual proof of cheating, it was more like gifts. So every time like I would catch him, I would get like a shit ton of gifts. So like I was mentioning before, one Christmas I got a jacket that I wanted. I got the Apple Watch and I got tickets to Demi Lovato, which I mean were all great gifts. But I really wondered would I have gotten those gifts if I wouldn't have caught him in the act, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. And then, like we were saying too, it's kind of one of those where there's like a fine line because if the
Mm-hmm.
actions don't match up with the words, then obviously, it's not good. But there are some times where you really do love the person and like their actions prove it. There's no cheating, there's no like, you know,
Yeah.
any ill intent behind it. And then you get a gift and you don't get it thrown in your face later that you got a gift.
It's just a gift out of love. And that's like I don't know if you felt like this in your current relationship because like when I would get gifts in my current relationship, I'd be like, but why is he giving me a gift? Like, what is he
Yeah,
doing?
100%.
And now I feel
100%.
like I have to return a gift and he's like, it's not a tit for tat. And I'm like, oh, okay, like that's
Are
new.
you sure?
Yeah.
What do you mean? How does this work?
You're just giving me a gift because?
Yeah, I love it.
Well,
Yeah, so I feel like it definitely matters,
mm-hmm.
with their intentions behind it too.
Oh, absolutely.
So, one that was on my list that is a definite red flag, and I'm sure other people that pay attention to flags would obviously feel like that's a red flag. But if you're like me, that are just like, nah, fuck it, we're just gonna go for it, then maybe you didn't pay attention. But I feel like how they treat their mom is really, really important. And I
Absolutely.
see the huge difference between that with my ex and my current relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's like day and night. So my ex was, and still to this day is, just very disrespectful, very rude, very just degrading, awful to his mom, and then expects her to do everything for him still, which is crazy. And I feel like at first I was kind of like, oh, his family's crazy, so maybe that's why he's got like, like anger towards her or something. Like, I don't know, I totally tried to brush it off like, who cares.
Yeah.
And my
Like giving him
current
the benefit of the doubt.
yeah, yeah. And my current boyfriend is literally the complete opposite. Like, his mom could call him right now and tell him that she needs something, and he's right there. Like, he doesn't argue with her. There's no, like, he's very respectful. He loves his mom, and you can tell. And it shows in our relationship too. Like he's amazing to me, and my ex was clearly my ex for a reason. Not a good person at all. So I feel like definitely how they treat their mom is it should be a huge flag. Whether it be good, green or red. I guess that one can definitely go both ways. But if they're not nice to their mom, stay away.
Well, actually, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. My ex was immaculate to his mother.
Really?
Yes. So unfortunately, she was very sick.
Oh,
Um, and he went above and beyond to take care of this woman. I mean, as he should, that is his mother. But there were some issues within our relationship at that moment, but then she did ultimately pass from her illness. After that, it was just like a complete like spiral, and he actually like blamed his actions on the trauma from his mom's
oh
passing.
no. Oh no.
And you know what? Like in the moment, I was like, you know what? That is traumatic. I don't know what it's like to lose my mom, thankfully, but
Yeah.
it's kind of just interesting because he really was an amazing son. So it was
Yeah,
kind of
that's
like,
crazy.
why
Well,
are you treating me like this?
see, then I had a reason to ignore the flag.
That's
You
why
never
she'll
know, I guess.
surrender. She was just like, I
Yeah.
give up on these flags.
Yeah, seriously. It's so hard because like we said in the first one, love bombing, like it's so hard because
Hmm.
you just don't know. Like I feel like at the end of the day you just don't know.
Yeah.
Like okay, so what's your next one?
So I actually wrote down jealousy, and it's crazy because I feel like this one is also a very fine line
Yes, but
because
I feel like it definitely like there's a difference between like jealousy and like just trying to be protective maybe.
that's true. Because I mean, like, controlling jealousy is a huge turn off, but like a little bit of jealousy, like, it's kind of
Yeah.
a turn on. It's kind of like, oh, you care about me. But
Yeah.
I agree, like, once it gets to like that controlling
Yeah.
factor, it's like, okay, now this is just borderline scary. And
Yeah, because it could
my,
be like, oh, a guy was checking you out at the store and your
mm-hmm.
significant other is like, oh, like it shows that he does feel like, okay, my girl looks good,
Yeah,
like stop looking at my
exactly.
girl.
Yeah. And I don't know how like your previous relationship was, but like with mine, it was very like controlling. Like I had to stop talking to certain people, but he didn't. Or he
Yep.
would say that he stopped talking, but like on the low, he's still talking to them. Like the hypocrisy of it.
Yes, mine did the same exact thing. Same exact thing.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was always the ones that like he would say, don't worry about, were the ones that
Yes.
he was talking to.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, yes, that is such a like classic sign. They'll be like, "No,
Hmm.
they're just a friend. Like, what are you worried about?"
Yep.
And then it's always that person, and you're just like, "Oh my God,
I knew it.
I should
Yeah,
have known."
exactly. Totally. I do kind of like when they get a little bit jealous, though.
Me too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I do like that. But there is definitely like,
That fine line.
yeah. And it's so crazy because sometimes I feel like a person can start out on like one side of that line and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like,
How
how
did
did
we
you
get
get
here?
that far over there? Like, so you really have to be careful. And like,
Yeah,
it's crazy. People are crazy with masking how they truly are. It's insane to me.
true. And also, I feel like there's also this weird thing with like narcissists that they kind of like they almost want you to be jealous,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yes. And then if you, God forbid, did anything to make them jealous, it was like a huge, like, you're
Yeah.
a problem.
Look at how you're acting. Why would you
Yes.
do
Yes.
this?
Totally.
So like yeah, just that double standard, that hypocrisy, it goes back to. So
Yes. So let's see. For my next one, I feel like I don't know how to word it in the right way, I guess, because so mine, I wrote down like when they try to make you feel guilty about your boundaries, but I can't think of like a good example, I guess, to like
but I get what you're
explain.
saying. So kind of like if you, I guess like if we go back to that notion of like, okay, setting a boundary of like, let's say I don't want you speaking to this one person because it makes me uncomfortable. And then they kind of like almost gaslight you into being like, but I've known them since high school. Like nothing has ever
Yes.
happened. Why do you
Yes.
feel
Yes.
like that?
Yes. But
Yeah.
in like all different types of scenarios
Yeah.
too. Like even like going out with your friends or something and then it would turn into guilt of like, oh well, why don't you ignore your friends and like come be with me? Even though you
Yeah.
already said like you could get guy time, I get girl time. They have no problem having guy time, but if it's girl time, it's a problem. Like
Mm-hmm. So come almost kind of like isolating you from everyone.
yeah, and like trying to guilt trip you
Yeah.
like into why you shouldn't be wanting to do that kind of stuff. You should want to be just hanging out with them.
Yes. And I feel like that's something that was hard for me to learn, especially like going into a new relationship, because it was kind of like that's all I knew. Like
Yeah,
me and my partner would just be together, and that's just how it was. Like we didn't hang out
me
with other
too.
people.
Me too. It definitely was an issue for me at first because I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we can go have our own separate interests. Like, what
Yeah.
do you mean? Like, it was definitely totally different.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And my husband's always kind of like, if you want to go out, like just go out. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah,
I
mine too.
can.
Yeah. Mine too. And then sometimes I find myself like, well, I don't want to now because you said I can.
Now I want to be home with you.
Yeah. Nice little reverse psychology
Yeah.
you just pulled on me.
And also, I just want to take a moment to say that you just called him your husband, so I think we're manifesting it. I
Huh?
just want to put that out there.
I did really.
Yeah. That's so cute. I
Aw.
love that.
He is kind of like mine. So yeah, we're manifesting it.
Manifesting it.
Yeah.
My last one is gonna be accountability, which we've definitely have spoken about before, but I'm like the one that I like go back to is like all my exes are crazy. Have you ever heard that?
Yes. Yes. And not just exes, like even friends. Like we're not friends because they did such and such, or
Yeah.
that's my ex because she's crazy. Like she
Yeah.
did this, this, and this, but not explaining like what made that person react like that in the first place.
But it's never their fault. Like they're not the
Ever,
problem.
ever, ever. And most of the time, sadly, they are the problem. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it is the ones that never take accountability that 9 times out of 10, like, they are definitely the issue. Like, they're the reason why that relationship ended.
For sure. And then, when you're just in the thick of it, you're like, oh my God, everybody else is crazy because they're so perfect.
Mm-hmm. And then you slowly start to
Yeah.
see, like, oh, this is what they were talking about. Like, or you think to yourself, too, I think sometimes, like, oh, they wouldn't do that to me.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Like, I'm different. You always
Mm-hmm.
want to be like the girl always, well, guys feel like this too, but it's like you always want to believe that you can change them. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You're the one that's going to heal them. And it's like, no, don't put
Yeah,
yourself through it.
exactly. Unless they're willing to do the work, then you can't help someone.
Yeah.
Get out of it right now.
Yeah.
So I think for, let's see, I feel like a lot of these tie together. So give me
Hmm.
1 second. Let's say, I feel like, yeah, they all go together now. somehow.
That's okay.
So let's do when they want to be like constantly talking to you. I feel that's another like if like they text you and if you don't answer back right away, like
Mhm.
it's a problem, but they can leave you on red for like a while and then that's supposed to be okay as well.
I
I feel like
okay.
that goes into like our communication part though and like
Yeah.
that boundary too with like I don't know, love bombing also like when they're constantly wanting to talk to you and then all of a sudden it's like okay, now we're not going to talk right this second because I'm not available.
And that I feel like that also just kind of correlates back to oh my gosh, like allowing you to kind of be your own person.
Yeah, I feel like all of it ties together.
Yeah.
And then I had green flags too. That's the
Oh,
ones that I was looking at also that I was going to maybe like jump into. But I feel
yeah.
like
Bring them out.
especially for especially for our podcast, I think it's huge that it's a really big green flag when the person is willing to like encourage your healing journey. And I can honestly say that I've got a partner that's totally with it. Like he like understands when I need rest. He understands when I need space. He understands. It's just really nice having that. And my ex was definitely nothing like that. Like I'm healing from his stupid ass. I feel like that's huge when they're willing to really listen to you and allow you that space. I think it's beautiful. And
I
I
agree.
hope
And then,
everyone finds that.
oh my God, that we would be such a healed society if we could find that.
Hmm.
But I agree. I've told my husband multiple times there's certain triggers that I have, and I truly apologize because it's not your fault, and you
Right.
shouldn't have to like not deal with it, but it's
I
not
know what
his
you're trying to say, though. Like,
responsibility
yeah,
because it's not from him, but it's just the trauma that I've built, and he's so patient, and he will sit there and listen and learn and try to understand why I'm being triggered. So I completely agree with you, and it's such a it makes not only like a difference, but it just brings you guys so much closer together.
it does. And I feel like my ex, I don't know, certain things he would be like, oh, that's stupid. Oh,
Mhm.
that's like ridiculous. That's like anything like crystals or meditation or anything that had to do with really connecting back to yourself. It was like, why are you doing that? That's so stupid.
Yeah,
So
that
I feel like it's
judgmental stuff, yeah.
very, yeah. So I feel like that's definitely a flag to look for.
Yeah, that's a good green flag.
Yeah. Or it could turn into a red one, I guess. Like I said, if they're like not willing, and they just tell you it's stupid and discouraging you from being
Mhm.
your best self, that's just them trying to keep you down. So gotta watch the flag.
This flag situation is a little difficult because I feel most of them were like, "Yeah, it's a fine line," and then others were like, "But it can turn into a red flag, or maybe it could be a green flag."
Exactly. It's so true though, and I feel like that's why so many people really get tripped up because,
Yeah,
like me, I just totally
that's why
didn't
you
look
ignore
at
them,
any of
Shell.
them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really hard. You just kind of, I don't know, you have to go through it, I guess, if you're not going to really be observant. And I feel like a big thing too is trying to not like block yourself off at first when you're in a new relationship, but definitely be aware and try to be mindful and very observant and, you know, try to look through the person, I guess, because there are a lot of people that just mask who they really are. And then it turns out that they're awful. And that sucks to go through.
And also it's just like what are you willing to put up with? Because something that might be a red flag to me just might not be a red flag for you.
That too. That's huge.
And people have to like meet other people where they are, you know? Because sometimes You can vent to friends, and the friend will be like, well, you should just dump them. And it's, well, try to understand where they're coming from as well.
Yeah,
Not everything deserves a breakup, you know?
true. Yeah, very true.
Did you have
I think
another
this is a
green
fun
flag?
one. Maybe. Let's see. Um, so another green flag that I have is, again, I guess something with just within yourself, but when your nervous system feels like safe and calm. I feel like that's a huge green flag. Like,
Oh, for sure.
I feel like that's one of those intuition things where, certain people, you have like an awful feeling in your gut or
Hmm.
whatever. And I feel like when you kind of, I don't know, for me, it kind of feels my heart is smiling, and my body feels like, I could take a breath now. I feel like that's a huge green. And then the last one that I had on there was when they remember little small things about you. So small acts of kindness and stuff, like meaningful things,
Yeah.
not just going to the store and buying you a designer handbag. It's like going
Hmm.
to the store and getting your favorite candy or something like that. Just small little things that they remember about you. I think that's huge too.
Those are both like huge ones, especially feeling safe. I feel a lot of times like we accept a lot of BS, and a lot of like what I accepted was I did not feel safe with my previous partner, even
Me
emotionally.
either.
I felt I was always walking on eggshells, and
Same.
that is something so big to pay attention to because that's not natural. You should never
No.
feel that.
And unfortunately, it usually doesn't go away, it just gets worse.
Exactly. If you feel like you can't talk to them for fear of upsetting them,
Yeah.
that is not the person for you. You should be able to speak to your partner even about hard stuff.
Yeah. Totally.
And and it's not to say that you guys won't get mad at the hard conversations, but if you can
Yeah.
still get through
But
it and
there's a
work
healthy
together.
way to, yeah, there's a healthy way to argue. And I don't even want to call it arguing because I feel
Yeah.
like it's not, it's just communicating. But
Yeah.
there's definitely a healthy way to get through those tough situations.
Hmm.
And then there was an unhealthy way. And that is definitely what we both were stuck in before. So,
And I feel like also we're just not, well, no one's taught like healthy communication whatsoever. So
no.
we naturally go to like snapping, being angry, talking loud, and it's like those are all unhealthy ways of communicating.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of us learned that in our childhood and just
Yeah.
like our surroundings, and something that you have to be, willing to break the habit of it. And I don't know, a lot of people I think are not. They're just kind of are like, well, this is how it was for me my whole life, so this is how I'm going to stay.
Yeah. And also, I feel like if you weren't heard, if you felt like you weren't heard as a child, not like when you have those hard conversations, you just kind of revert back inside yourself. You're not willing to say how you feel because
Yeah.
you feel like you won't naturally be heard. So you just kind of
Push it
swallow the
back.
feelings
Yeah. Definitely.
and you'll just
Definitely.
accept whatever the outcome.
Yeah. And if you have a good partner, then they'll see that you're doing that and they'll try to encourage you to talk it out so that it
Hmm.
doesn't get trapped inside of you.
Absolutely. And I love the one that you said about little things because it's so true. Little things go such a long way. And I feel like sometimes we're such a materialistic society. And it's like, yeah, he got me the latest designer handbag and took me on like a $3,000 vacation and we did this and that. But I feel if he just, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a situation, but let's say you're sick and he's just taking care of you. That's so much more meaningful than me getting the latest whatever in
Yeah,
technology or clothes.
I
Just
agree.
knowing that you actually care, like you said, that's so much more beautiful to me.
Yeah, I agree. My boyfriend at first was like so annoyed with me and gift giving and would tell me I'm the hardest person to buy for. And I'm like, that's because you're not thinking. In his mind, he's trying to get me the most expensive thing because that's what I deserve. And I'm like, but that's not what I want. I want you to really think about what I like and get me that. Like the one thing he got me, it was so funny. It was this ring. And I don't know why, and no offense to anyone who likes them, but I'm not a fan of those lotto rings. I think it's Irish, but it's like
It
the hands
is,
with the crown.
yes.
I don't know why, but I don't have anything against them. And I have a piece that was my grandma's, but I don't know, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
So he got me that ring for my birthday one year, and in his mind, he's not seeing that. He said that it was like a heart, it's a heart and his hands protecting me, and there's a
Mhm.
crown 'cause I'm a queen. Like he had this whole thing. And I'm like,
And Shell's like, yucky, take it back.
yes. And I still to this day I feel awful. I should have just accepted it, but like it was an outburst, not rude, but it was an outburst, and I was like, I told you I don't like this. And it kind of like I was sad cuz I'm like you like I felt like he didn't put any thought into it, even though he just explained to me what he thought all of those pieces
Yeah.
meant. In my mind, it was just, no, you didn't think, because if you thought, you would remember that I don't like
Mhm.
it. So ever since that day, he's like, "You're so hard to buy for." And I'm like, "I'm not. I just wanted it to be as meaningful." To me, that was kind of like you just ignored what I said I didn't like and you got it for me
Mhm.
anyway. And I can say in his defense, he has never gotten me something that's not meaningful since. And I get the most random, like small little gifts that probably don't even cost that much, but I don't care because this is something that I totally would have asked for. So I love it. But yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's definitely more meaningful. I don't care how much it costs. I'm not a designer person. And I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people do get lost in that. And then I don't know, to me, it takes away from gift giving. Like, I could just go to the store and buy the most expensive thing and give it to you, and you have to love it because it costs a lot. And I don't know. I don't feel like those are like meaningful gifts. Those are like mindless, like, here, take this. I bought you
Yeah.
something.
And I also feel like it's just something we see on social media all
Hmm.
the time. So
Yeah.
everyone just kind of is almost like expecting those things, but not
Yeah, I was gonna
everyone
say
is
no
like
offense to
that.
anybody. Yeah, no offense to anybody who really does want those kind of gifts. So like maybe you do just really want really expensive gifts because you like that style or whatever. Or maybe your taste is expensive, whatever the case is. I guess price wasn't part of it. If if that's what you really love, then good, get that gift. But
Mm.
meaningful gifts, no matter what it is, I feel are important. I don't like the little like quick just let me hurry up and buy a present gifts.
Yeah, true. You like you can get me a card and just write such like heartfelt things to me and I'm just like, "Oh my God, this is
Yeah.
the best thing ever."
Yeah. Yeah, even if you did get that fancy bag, if it had like a little meaningful card along with it to tell you how he feels, then that's great too.
Oh
Put
yeah,
some thought into it though. At least let there be some kind of thought behind the gift, I
true.
guess.
Very true. Have you heard of now there's beige flags?
That's probably what I've been paying attention to this whole time.
I don't think
I did
so.
hear that though.
Beige
I feel like
flags
I
are
have
like
heard the phrase, but I don't
Mhm.
know like what they're considering a beige flag.
So it's kind of like something that's like quirky that your partner does, but it's not like an end all.
Okay.
Like it's not like a reason to like break up with them.
Okay. So,
So
like, you have like giant, disgusting burps after you eat. Is that like a beige flag or no? That's not. I'm totally off.
I, I mean, I guess for someone it is. Shall.
Okay.
Okay, something that like okay, I'll give you an example. My
Okay.
husband will like tell a story and he's gonna hate me because he's gonna listen to this and be like, you're just talking shit about me, but I promise I'm not. Um, he'll like almost kind of build suspense to the story and I'm like, okay, and like what happened? And then he'll follow up and I'm just like, why? I don't need suspense when you tell a story. You could just give it to me straight. So it's something that's kind of like a little kind of like it bothers me a little, but it's not the end all be all for our relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. Well, just to set the record straight, I am the giant burper, so it's my boyfriend that deals with that. Um, but I could see that. So for our example, I would probably give like he's obsessed. Like I don't watch TV or anything, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't really care what's on the TV. And so every day we are watching YouTube and it's always about motorcycles or Harbor Freight.
No.
And I don't care. It doesn't bother me, but that probably would bother somebody terribly.
Wait, can I just ask what is the obsession with Harbor Freight? Because my husband loves Harbor Freight.
I don't know, but I'm telling you right now, every time we go in there, like I got this giant shopping bag for 99 cents. I always find some kind of random thing where I'm like, if we're going there, then I'm totally leaving with something. I think I've gotten like 3 different pairs of scissors from them. It's got a hose. Like, I'll always find something. I don't know. I enjoy going on, like, we call those our little adventures. So it'll be like coffee and then Harbor Freight or something. So I try to make it fun and make him get me something for my travels.
Oh, you're such a great wife. You really are.
But on YouTube, he'll watch the Harbor Freight deals. And I find myself now, too, even sometimes hyping it up and being like, oh, do you have that? We need that.
Do you really need it though?
No, probably not. But he has a toolbox. So, like, I don't know. I like that he has, like, every type of tool that we may possibly need in our life. So, and he's a mechanic too. So, yeah, if we're going to need it at some point, might as well stick it in there.
Oh my God, you guys are
And
so
it gives us
adorable.
a
I love
reason to
this.
have a Harbor Freight. Yeah, a Harbor Freight date because he
Yeah.
doesn't have that tool. Except for most of them he does have now. So now it's just the random, like, big item sales.
Yeah, now you got to find something else, you know?
Yeah, yeah. We'll find a new store that has tools and things for me.
This was so much fun.
Yeah. I love our podcast time.
And I don't think you misunderstood the assignment at all. You did great.
Okay, good.
All your
Okay, good.
examples were awesome.
Yeah, we just know now that I ignore all flags. So you never know what you're getting.
Now I'm just gonna have to like be around you waving like green and red. And just be like,
I
I
know,
can't pay
right?
attention.
Totally.
All right. Well, we love everyone. Thank you so much for tuning
Yes,
in
thank
this
you for
week.
listening.
Bye.
Bye.